So, welcome to this second lecture about sustainability reporting, and now we will focus on the next framework, which is the one from the European Union connected to the CSRD. And we will discuss this in two ways. As always, we start with important concepts, and then we discuss the standards in more detail. So let's start with important concepts that are relevant for this framework, but we can also connect with the other frameworks. And as this framework is from Europe, we need to disclose something that is very important for the European context, the EU taxonomy. The EU taxonomy is something that you need to disclose when you report on sustainability because the European Union in CSRD says that every organization in Europe should contribute to at least one sustainability objective from the European Union. And they have six objectives you can see in here: climate mitigation, climate adaptation, water and marine resources, circular economy, pollution prevention, and biodiversity and ecosystems. So you have to contribute positively to at least one. And how do you ensure that you contribute to at least one of them? Well, you need to state and you need to demonstrate that even that you focus on at least one, you are not really doing bad on the other six, on the other five. So it doesn't mean that if you only focus on one, then you can relax completely about the others and do not work towards them. Just you can focus on one, but you should also show that you are not contributing in a bad way to the other objectives. Second, is that you need to meet the minimum safeguards from different angles. It depends on what type of objectives you have, which angle, what do you have to do. For example, if it is related to circular economy, I think the OECD guideline is very relevant. If it is connected to maybe more environmental aspects, some certificates could be relevant to disclose in there. So there are minimum safeguards that apply to different objectives. So it's basically almost giving like the evidence that what you are doing towards that objective is really clear that you are doing something that is not it's only words, like you need to provide evidence. And connected with that evidence of maybe following some guidelines, some certificates, or something that is a little bit third party related, you should also bring technical data, technical real kind of output that kind of connects to stating that you are working towards that objective. So that's basically the EU taxonomy. Everyone has to contribute to one of the six objectives, and you need to state that when you do the sustainability reporting according to CSRD. And then the second thing is that, or the second concept that is very important is the concept of double materiality. We learn about materiality in the IFRS framework, but now in Europe, they claim that uh, taking the focus on the investors or the shareholders is not enough. The idea is that something can be material for someone who is not an investor, maybe a supplier, maybe a client, maybe society in general. So if there is something that could affect a supplier, a client, an employee, society, the government, or maybe also an investor, that will qualify as materiality from this perspective of double materiality. It's not only what affects the company and its investors, it is also what affects the others. So it makes things more difficult because it will be harder to assess what is material, and not only for me, maybe it's a little bit clear what's important for me, but what is material for the others. It makes things more difficult. But because of that, in every aspect of the standard we will see in the next videos, everything that you need to disclose, you have to talk about the double materiality. How did you assess the double materiality? If you need to talk about something about climate or environment, you need to ensure that it's clear how did you assess or how you will assess that this double materiality is reflected on that. It's not only the single materiality that you are reporting, things that will affect also clients or suppliers or actors that are normally not considered in other frameworks like the IFRS. So those are the two important concepts. In the next videos, we will focus on the standards on itself.